What's up, guys? I think we're live. Finally, sorry for the small delay. I'll just make sure to share the video to a couple of places, guys, so you see it. We'll start pretty soon. It's gonna take a second. If you're watching the replay, well, you can skip this part. It's gonna be a little bit boring, but we'll start in a few seconds. Go share it right here. Share it. Wonderful, wonderful. So, what's up, guys? I see we don't have anyone yet. I'll just wait a couple of minutes so people can join. And I want to focus today on technical strategies. So there's a lot we could talk about on this topic, but this week I published two podcast episodes, both about trading strategies. So one was about basically a small introduction to trading strategies, how that stuff works. Second one was about how to trade sideways, pretty much what I do. So a good part of what I do now is trading sideways. I trade both breakout and reversals. Okay, those are the two things I love to trade. It's pretty much my focus now. I don't do much else than that. Okay, that's pretty much the big thing. So I share pretty much the important part. The important part is that you need to have a process whenever you're gonna trade. It's good to have some strategy, have something, but the process is gonna help you a lot more. Clarify what you're looking for. Because you'll see that the market is rarely always the same. Right? It's really rare that you're gonna see the market moving always in the same way. So sometimes price gonna come to a support level, bounce back up quickly. Then it's gonna come to a support level, it's gonna consolidate there and then bounce. You cannot. It's really rare that only one strategy is gonna work all the time. You need to make sure that you have a process. That means the process you need to do. You need to know what you look for. Trade. And I just saw Joan. What's up? Out here. 4 people live for now. That's great. Give me a second. I'll have to put this on the. What's up, Joan? Nice. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. You need to have a process, not only a strategy. The strategies they work, they sometimes don't work. But the process is going to be more broad, and you can apply it to pretty much any time. Okay, on any chart, any time frame, anytime you can apply the process. And what's the process I have? It's pretty simple, and it's like four-part. First part is market phase. How is the price behaving? What is the market phase? Are we sideways? Are we trending? And then we move to price action, or not so support resistance. Because based on the market phase, we're usually good to identify areas where price is likely to bounce. Okay, that's or bounce or breakout. And then from there, what's up? Nice, Jean-François is there. Cool. So then from the support resistance, then we can identify zones where prices are likely to reverse or to go through. And those are the interesting part where you want to trade. Then from there, we look at price action. How's the price behaving? Do we have big candlestick? Do we have big wicks? What are the candlestick doing? Did we go from a certain level, then went straight down, or did we go like going downward and coming back up and going downward? That's gonna depend a lot. Okay, that's gonna make a big impact. You need to watch this carefully, and that's the next part. So we said market phase, support resistance, price action, and the fourth one, and this is like where people spend all their time usually, and this is an indicator. Now I use only one indicator to help me confirm, and the indicator should help you bring something more to the table, not just be one tool that you have and you watch it to make sure that everything's aligned. No, You just want to make sure that you have some more confirmation, some more confluence trade. That's the idea of why I use an indicator. And it's like the indicator I use is gonna depend on what I trade. If I trade a pullback or like a reversal, the indicator I'll use is not gonna be the same as a breakout. It's gonna be different. Okay, because I want to have something that's gonna add some value and to add something to the picture. So those are the things I do. And I shared about pretty much what I do in the podcast this week. To trade reversals, I'm a big fan of the Bunker Band. Trade breakouts, I'll sometimes go more to the R side. Although I have some plays press action only, and that helps a lot. And if you can take your plays now that you trade and put them only in price action, only in what is the price doing, it's gonna be a lot easier sometimes. Sometimes not, because indicators are good, they're objective, so you know you can rely on them. You know you can look at the R signs to the value. Okay, that's easy. But you don't know how you're gonna interpret the chart and the price or the candlesticks. And you look at it when you're in the trade. And that's gonna be a whole different thing. While the RSI or the Bollinger Band, you'll see the value, you'll see the real thing. That's why sometimes indicators are good. You don't know what you're doing, and if you're not sure, you can rely on your mind and yourself when you trade. Indicators are really good for that because they're objective. That's a big part here. And I see people who don't want to have indicators on their chart. They say, I don't want to have that. Like, I want to trade only per price action. But like that's fine. The question you need to ask yourself, are the indicators helping you or hurting you? Is the desire to want to trade only price helping you or hurting you? Okay, and in some cases, it might be yes or no. You need to define that for yourself. You need to figure out for yourself what is the situation now. And if you want to rely on price action, that's fine. But make sure that you can go into trading and go into your chart by identifying things objectively, not subjectively. When you're in a trade, you know that you're affected by what your mind is doing or the outcome of your trade. But don't expect you to be perfect to look at price action. It's going to be much harder. Those are just my thoughts, but it's something that you need to think about. So what we do on Fridays is we do those Q&As. If you guys have any question, comment somewhere where you're watching this video. I'm fine to answer any question. And the topic I wanted to bring today was trading strategies, because we did have some good session with this week, the podcast, and also on the blog. One of the article I published this week, and one of the article I published this week was about my trading stats. That's another big topic in itself. For trading stats, statistics you have on your account. You need to have a big win rate. Well, not necessarily. You need to have a big reward to risk. Not necessarily. It doesn't matter. I know people trading for a 1-to-1 reward to risk. They're successful. I know people who trade for a 5-to-1 reward to risk, and they're successful. Or maybe they're not successful. But you need to adjust your reward to risk with your win rate. Those are the two things you need to adjust. If you have a high win rate, you can have a lower reward to risk. That's totally fine. You win a lot of trades, like you win 70% of your trade, you win 1-to-1 all the time. That's fine. You'll make money. Or you can have a big reward to risk. You win big when you win. You have small losses, and you lose more than you win in times. You could like win only 30% of your trade, have a big reward to risk, make money. So you need to figure out what is better for you, like which way you feel better, and what your strategy is offering you. Okay, because some strategies are really, and didn't talk about that a lot, but some strategies are good to give you a high reward to risk. Some of them are good to give you a higher probability of winning the trade. Okay, but they're all different. But you need to know what your strategy is. If you take a strategy like with moving average, like the crossover thing or something, you expect that to work 80% of the time, or 70%, or 60%, it's not gonna work. Okay, those strategies have been working at like 30-40%. But when you take one win, yeah, you have a big win. You're riding the trend. Okay, so you need to figure out how your strategy works and what it's giving you. Okay, don't try to like choose something and try to get that. Okay, don't say, well, I'm gonna trade and I'm gonna get high reward to risk. Well, no, ask yourself, is my strategy really helping me getting that? Can I really get that? The strategy I have right now. And if not, well, either you switch or something else, or you just accept what you have now. Okay, but those are two different things. You need to figure out which one you're gonna have, and that's crucial. So let me got the question here. Sometimes I talk and I don't see the questions. Try to here. Sometimes also the question are coming late. It's good. It's good to have people. And one thing we always do on Fridays is I want you guys to share what you're proud of for the week. Because it's really, really good to get pissed off or to get disappointed by what you need to work on. Like you have a lot of things to work on. You want to make sure you're good and everything. But you need to recognize also what you do well. And so every single week, we try to recognize at least one thing that we do well in that week. It could be things like you 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 wrote your plan, or you were compliant, you did your trades correctly, or it could be things like, well, this week I didn't do great, I didn't have a good reward, or I didn't have a good return, but at least I was there and I took the trade according to the plan. Okay, so those are things that you need to be willing to recognize. It's good to see what you have to work on, but you need to know what you're good at. And it's always combining what you're good at with what you need to work on. That's a big, big key here. You need to figure out. So definitely something that you guys can let me know, and I'll try to post. I'll try to make a post later today about that stuff specifically. You guys can share what you've done right. It's a good way also to meet people who've done the things you want to do. The group where we try to have also. Yeah, yeah. Debrief is huge. Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Great. And I'm excited because you guys are gonna have a good podcast episode with Jean-François Boucher watching this right now. It's gonna be a great one, and I'm super excited. It's gonna be published, I think, in 1 or 2 weeks, and maybe 3 weeks. It's gonna be a great one. We recorded that 2 days ago, and really a lot of knowledge here, a lot of experience that's gonna come up for sure. You guys can see that as soon as it's published. And part of the debrief, I always have this notebook, okay, when I trade. And Jean-François, you had something similar. That's pretty cool. You need to have something that you track with when you trade. You want to track what you do well, where you have some problems, and what you need to work on, okay, all the time. And it's good. And one of the best podcast episodes for this is the one with Andrew Maneker. I don't know what episode it is, but share like how he does his journaling and what he's doing. Like what are the questions he asks himself while he trades. That's a big key because you need to know how you feel sometimes and why you feel that way. Then you can take action on it. If you feel stressed when you trade, well, why do you feel stressed? Is it because you don't have a plan, or you didn't take the setup accordingly, or you just had a losing streak? Like, why do you feel stressed? And if you can identify that, you can take an action, solve that thing, or at least reduce it. Okay? And Dominiker said trading is not about just trading or taking setup, about dealing with being uncomfortable and doing something to overcome that. Okay, you need to feel uncomfortable. You cannot avoid that, but you need to know how to deal with this and how to kind of endure it, and what to do about it. That's a big key that you need to work on. And if you feel stressed because you don't have a plan, well, you wrote it down, and the action now is make a plan. Do something first. Do something to fix that. Right? That's the action you need to take. Feel stressed because you had a series of losing trades. Well, what can you do for that? That may be withdrawing yourself, something else, or just staying in the game because there's no reason for you to feel stressed. Okay, there's no reason for you to feel bad because you had losing trades fast. And I'll just see comments. Oh yeah, yeah. Good one, Jean-François. When you're doing something else and you want to trade, like multitasking, that's a tough one, and especially if you have to leave the house and with your kid for sure. And yeah, you guys are gonna see. Pretty excited about the guest coming on Monday podcast. But you're gonna see that this guy is multitasking and he's trading while doing something else, and it's something I'm not familiar with. I don't want to. It's a good thing, but it's good perspective because you need to be willing to test yourself sometimes, and like the journal is kind of pushing you also to identify where you can grow and what areas you can try to work on. And I was speaking at that with trader last well yesterday actually we talked, and I have a friend who's trading, and one of the challenges he puts himself in sometimes trade while he is like really, really sleep while he didn't sleep, like if he didn't sleep before the night, if if he didn't sleep the night before, he's gonna trade like and try to see if he's good at trading. And you might think it's stupid and you might think it's not the best idea, but it's just to push himself and try new things. And then when you trade when you're sleepy, like really the best way you see if you put all the things in place. You have all the checklists, all the tools, all the journal, all the system, track your trades and take trades correctly. So that's the thing that you could try, but try it like only if you're good at it and if you want to make experiments. But I always talk about this. You need to make experiment too. Yeah, that's a big part here. You need to be willing to experiment and try new things. So that guy is trying to trade when he's sleepy, see if he's gonna perform well. If he's not performing well, but why did he didn't perform well? What was the cause? Is it because he didn't track his trade? Is it because he didn't have the checklist he needed to have? Those are things that you need to maybe work on after. Just always pushing yourself and try new things. That's why a lot of traders don't do that. A lot of them, like a few of them do. They try new things and they grow with that. That's a big part that you could try if you want. And let me see. Pretty happy because the Facebook Live worked today. Past four time it didn't work super great. Yeah, time it's working fine. So there's so many things I wanted to talk about, but I kind of have to reduce the thing I talk about here. Yeah, but so I'll ask you if you guys wanna answer or wanna comment below. What is something you've done well this week? What is one thing that you've done correctly this week, or that you're proud of? There could be many things. Try to pick one thing you're proud of that you did right this week. It could be making a plan. It could be reviewing your plan. It could be sleeping enough. I know personally this week I slept more than usual, which is good, and I felt better for sure the whole week. It could be things like that, but all those things you need to be proud of and just recognize them. And that's a big part of it. And let me see. Cut my losses. Yeah, cut my losses short. That's a good one. Cutting your losses short. Nice one. And for sure. Although I'll tell you that personally, I think my biggest challenge has been to cut my losses short. Right, sometimes taking profit too early or moving a stop loss quick, just to lock in profit and just not feel uncomfortable. So it's something that I've been working on a little bit more, and I think now I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at leaving things as is and waiting for the trade to unfold. But you definitely like if you don't have a stop loss now when you trade, you need to have one. Part of cutting your losses short. And it's a big part of trading, right? You need to be willing to like do something to stay another day. This is Paul Wallace. I talked about that. Living to fight another day. You need to be willing to cut your losses short because you want to be able to come back next day. That you cannot take a trade today and be like broke tomorrow. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to be willing to, and not willing. You need to be able to get back, be able to trade the next day. That's why stop loss is super important, and that's why you need to have them all the time. And that's probably part of cutting your losses short. Big key. I see someone's typing right there. And there's another thing that I could talk about, which is pretty interesting. I have a trader that was on the podcast. That guy's been trading futures for like a long, long time. He's trying to get into Forex now, trying to trade Forex because he sees the future market as being a little bit more sideways and consolidating and stuff. While the Forex market, you have more trends, you have more movement sometimes. So he's trying to get into Forex now. And I told him yesterday the biggest difference between Forex and futures is going to be the impact of news. Right? Because news in Forex, you might have seen it this morning with the NFP. News in Forex are impacting the price much more. You can have much more moves and trends because of news. That's a big part. If you don't watch the news now, you need to be at least willing to look at them, at least willing to acknowledge what news are coming up. Because trading Forex like intraday and not thinking about the news, like the worst suicide you could do, and the worst thing you could do to blow up an account, probably. So that's one thing you need to be careful of. Data collection, yeah, sure. Yeah, Jean-François, he says data collection is like necessary evil of trading. Yeah, it is. But the more you can automate it, like make this more automatically, so like things are happening by themselves, like plugging your account to my Facebook or something like that, collect data can help you a lot. Because I hate to have to like take a moment after I start to trade to enter my data on Excel. Okay, I'm not good at that, and I hate that. So I'm not gonna do that. But if I can find a way to automate my data collection, my data entry, much better. That's why being on like MyFX Book or I think there's another one, MyFX Blue, really, really, really helps. Yeah. So if you can automate this, it's gonna help you a lot. But once again, it's good to automate. It's good to have things done by themselves. But you need also to take time to review them. You need to be willing to review them every week. And I did videos sometimes about this. Every week on Sunday, I'll look at all my trades for the week. Okay, and I even print them. They're right here. I even print all my freaking trades for the whole week. I can review them after that on Sunday. And I'm gonna look at them. I'll look at what happened this week, what trade I took. I'll try to see what reward to risk I got, what win rate I got for the week. It's good to have the data, yeah. Great to know you won 70% of good to know you won 70% of your trade last month. But you need to be you need to be able to go back and look at it. If so many people track a lot, they're gonna journal, they're gonna put everything on my fixed book, but they won't even look at it. But they're just gonna look at the big figure, the how many dollars that I won last month. Yeah, that's only part of it. So it's a big key here. And Forex Factory definitely is a great place for news. Big, big key. Yeah. There's a few sites. There's a few sites for news. You pick the one you like. But Forex Factory is the one I have open on my computer like all the time when I trade. Just to see what's coming up for the day. Oh, yeah, that's the big one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, this I agree so much. I'm François. Trading from a phone or tablet, like the worst thing ever. And I ended up yeah, that's something I did a lot in the beginning. Like first year, oh my god, like the idea of trading from a phone or from a tablet, like amazing. That's so awesome. But then you realize that it's not really the best way to trade it. It's not the best way to think about it. So I just ended up stopping to trade from my phone. And right now, like I think not sure I have the app on my phone for broker, or maybe I still do. But the only thing I'm doing is sometimes to check the price. Right? If I still have a setup that was forming when I left the house, for example, and then I'm like more downtown and I want to check when the candle close, well, I might look at my phone because I know what I'm looking for. But if you're just scrolling on your phone and searching for setups, that's the worst thing you can do. You don't see the big picture. You don't see what's like the whole thing. This is something I stopped doing. The the only thing I'm doing now is trading from my laptop. Okay, that works pretty great. I think it's good. But trading from a phone, it's not my no, definitely not. And the thing is, you're missing so much data, right? Because if I'm gonna trade on my computer, I see for every trade what risk I have, what is the dollar risk I have. On my phone, I see nothing of that. Okay, I only see units I want to buy and stop loss take profit. That's pretty much it. I don't see like what's my risk. I don't see what's the big picture. I cannot look at the whole chart. Like it's so messy. So no, trading from a phone, big no, except looking for setups. Yeah, discussion here. Yeah, and sometimes it's better to just leave the plan as is. Right? If you enter a trade and you had a reason to enter it, and you realize that your trade has a small loss at some point, well, it's not a big deal, right? You know that the reason you took that trade is still valid. So, and you accepted the risk at first, right? If you have a problem trying to close your trade early when they have a small loss, well, you didn't accept the risk you had in the beginning. But you should be accepting the risk you put in at first. You should be willing to lose that trade right away and have no problem with it. If you're trying to fight and trying to close your trade early or close your trade at break even whenever you have some small profit, you didn't accept the risk. That's bad, but you accepted before and sure that you're comfortable with that. Otherwise, just leave it on it as is, let the trade run, and you might see that you have more profit in the end. You might see that the small pullbacks or the small moves you have are just normal and they're just gonna get overcome. Alright, so that's something I do. I don't check the price all the time during the day. If I'm entering a trade on a swing basis, I'll look at it when I enter. I'll look at it maybe a day later when the candle close. That's it. And not, I don't do anything else. So yeah, so let see. And yeah, Joan, one thing I wanna maybe remind you because I know you're in the academy. So one thing that you can do when you have some like these trades that go into profit, come back to loss, right? Sometimes, and this is something I learned the hard way. But Mark Douglas said that the market is like random. Okay, so you could have a profit, then it could come back all up like right away. So that's why it's important to take profit along the way. Right? Not take profit. Not if you're gonna target a zone, don't take profit at that zone. Okay, that's too far. You could do that, but your win rate is gonna be lower. Okay, one thing I like to do is I like to take profit partially at the time. I'm gonna buy under support. I'll take some profit a little bit after, and a little bit after, then the rest at the end. Okay, because I know that the market could go anywhere, and that I cannot decide what the market's gonna do. So I take the money when it's available, and I leave it open to give me the possibility of getting more. That's a big key. That's something that I've done, and it's probably the single thing that changed me from losing money to starting to make a little bit of money when I traded about a year ago. So it's something that you need to consider. Sure, taking some profit partially, not all of it at the beginning, not all of it at the end, not all of it in the middle, but part of it. Okay, maybe 1 to 1 of your risk, maybe 2 to 1, maybe next structure point, maybe on a breakout, maybe before it breaks out. Okay, so you need to be able to define this before, of course, not when you're in the trade, but before. That's definitely a big part here of helping you get more winning trades. And some people take profit. People make their stop loss to break even. Both are fine, but I prefer taking profit as the trade goes. Simply because having a stop loss to break even can help you. but you could lose everything. And move, like when you move your stop loss, you're kind of reducing, you kind of leaving less room for your trade to go. Yeah, so it depends on the situation. If you're trading trends, it's gonna be different than sideways. But I prefer to take profit and leave a stop loss as is, and move the stop loss after I took some profit. That's a difference here. So if you guys have any questions, type them below. If not, I'll have to go because I have to schedule some email and do some work this afternoon. The podcast Monday, get ready because it's gonna be a great one. I'm super excited for the guest that today. You guys are probably gonna love it, and I'm guessing that you guys know what who's gonna be like. I'm pretty sure that you guys know who that guest is. Yeah, so I won't say the name now, but you guys are gonna see it in the morning. And yeah, okay, Jean-François is doing a different thing. So I guess what you're saying, Jean-François, is instead of taking one trade and exiting partially, that you take one trade, you break even, you take another, you break even, take another, break even, then close everything at the end. You kind of accumulating the profit. Over time, you get more and more position, but they're all breaking even. They're all not in loss. That way, it's helping you get more, like more profit potential. Not more risk, because your risk is at break even over time. You're getting more money on the table. So when you close everything, well, instead of having like a 1 over what you risk, you have like a 5. That's something you could do for sure. That's something that can help. So there's many ways to do it. You just need to find one that works for you, one you're comfortable with, and you need to write it down, right? You need to have some plan to make sure that you follow that specific thing. So yeah, but like there's many ways for sure to do that. Yeah, and Joan, it's not to settle for small profit. You don't settle for a small profit, but settle for taking profit partially. Time. Small profit means like you're taking everything at the beginning. Well, no, you need because you're gonna have big. You're gonna have trades that are gonna be big winners. They're gonna have like 5, 6, 7 Rs. But you need to be able to capitalize over time. Do not get all your trades with big expectation, big profit potential, and not close them before. Not take any profit before. That's why it's important. Yeah, nice, awesome, Jean-François. So yeah, we're doing these Q&As pretty much every week on Fridays, and we do some. I try to do some market reviews during the week too. So if you want to check this out, it's on my YouTube channel sometimes, and it's my pleasure to do this for sure. And if you guys have any questions, I'll have to stop it here. But if you guys have any question, comment below. I'll make sure to go back after and reply. Help you out with that. And if you're not in the Facebook group, because some people are not, check out the Facebook group. It's artutor.com/group. The short link. Get straight to the Facebook group and you can join for free. And I look forward to see you there. You're gonna see Joanne, you're gonna see Jean-François in there. You can talk with them, meet them, interact with them. And it's gonna be a great place for you to meet other traders. So I'm glad about this. I'll see you pretty soon. Ciao, guys.